Today, Kevin is going to be making Philly cheesesteaks. This is from Magnolia Table, a collection of recipes for gathering. This is actually volume 2 by Joanna Gaines. So Kevin's going to let you know what you need and talk about the ingredients.
All right, so you need 2 pounds of ribeye. I wasn't going to buy ribeye or strip steak. This is sirloin tip steak. It's good enough. You need 3 tablespoons of olive oil in total. So you notice I haven't measured it out because you're going to use like a tablespoon, a tablespoon, and a tablespoon. So I'll measure it out as I go. You need 2 teaspoons of fajita seasoning mix. We've got the old El Paso here. Again, don't measure it all out in one package. You're going to get it a little bit out at a time. 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. 1 medium yellow onion, and I'll end up slicing that up into like half circles. They say circles. I like mine in half circles. A half teaspoon of kosher salt. And a half teaspoon of pepper. So I've just got, there's what salt I'm using. I've got the salt and pepper all in one thing. 1 large yellow bell pepper and a red bell pepper. 2 poblano peppers, and we're gonna seed these and cut them. Same thing with the peppers. 6 hoagie rolls, so we've just got the Pepperidge Farm ones. And then we've got pepper jack cheese or provolone cheese. We like pepper jack because we like the spice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and slice. The steak has to be sliced in thinly sliced pieces, like I think it says 1/4 inch wide. So I'm gonna go through and cut this into 1/4 inch wide strips. Again, peel and cut my onions into like semicircles. And then I'm gonna do the peppers and my peppers. Get that all chopped up for you and I'll be back. Okay, so got everything cut up. There's the meat cut up. I've kind of got it in 2 piles because you do half and half. I've got my pan, by the way, heating on high heat because you want it to be hot. Got my onions all sliced up here. I've got all my peppers right here. I've got a pan. This is just a cake pan. Cake pan, not a cookie pan. A cake pan with my buns in it. I'm just laying in there. And then I've got a piece of aluminum I'm going to lay over the half of the meat after I get finished cooking half of it. Then we'll cook the other half, and we'll just to keep it hot is basically all it is. So first thing you want to do, and I've got my oven turned on broil, because that's what you're going to do when you're ready to go. My fajita seasoning, I've got it split up into half teaspoon, 2 sections of half teaspoon. And then I'm going to take out olive oil. Okay, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just going to lay it right there. I'm going to take half the meat. Turn it down just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my fajita seasoning and like sprinkle it on top. I could probably, this pan's pretty big. Probably could have done all of it all at one time, but it only said to do half, so I'm just trying to follow their directions. And you just want to do this until it's kind of seared, probably 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and put it on my plate. There you go. And it's not going to be cooked all the way through, but you should have a decent sear on it. And I'm going to put another tablespoon of olive oil in there. And the rest of my steak is going to sizzle some. And my fajita, the other half teaspoon of fajita seasoning. And I'm going to cover up this steak with the aluminum just to keep it hot. Okay, second batch is done, so I'm going to turn my heat down to medium heat, and then I'm going to take this steak and put it on this plate. And then we're going to cover it with aluminum foil again. It smells good. Try to get all the little hunks of steak out of there. Okay, let me cover this up. Like I said, we want it to stay as hot as we possibly can. So now to this pan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my last tablespoon of olive oil to my pan. And I'm going to add my butter. And then when the butter kind of starts bubbling, which it all pretty much is right now, once it's kind of melted off here, I'm going to add my onions and my salt and pepper and the last teaspoon of fajita meat that I'm going to need. You're going to add that into this. But don't onions in here. The reason I've got such a big pan is you're going to end up putting your onions and all your peppers in this one pan. So you're going to need a pretty decent sized pan to do that. Salt and pepper. And you're going to do this probably cook these for 5 minutes or 5 or 6 minutes just till they kind of get translucent. And then I'll be back for the next step. Okay, you see my onions are pretty much translucent, and you see the little black pieces. So I just scraped the bottom of the pan to get some of that really good, all that good flavor where you browned the steak. And I just broke it up into the smallest pieces I could. So it'll all mix in with the steak. It'll be excellent. So now at this point you want to add all your peppers. You got your red bell peppers, your poblano, and your yellow. And you really just want to basically saute them until they turn, until they caramelize, till they turn a good brown color. So it could take like 15-20 minutes to do it all. You can see they're really good and caramelized. Love the color. The peppers are good and getting good and tender. So now you're just going to take the rest of your steak, pour it in there, and then mix it all up. And you basically want to heat your steak through. So give it about 5 minutes to kind of get hot, and then we'll start assembling our sandwich. Again, make sure you've got your oven on broil. So it should be really good and hot. And I'm going to show you the bread what I've done with the bread to get it ready. Let me just stir these up a little bit. Alright, so your hoagie buns, make sure the buns aren't cut all the way through. So these are the hoagie buns we're using. You're going to open them up and get them ready to put peppers and onions and meat in there. And then you want 2 slices of cheese per hoagie. Okay, so everything's heated up really good. So I'm just going to try to get steak and peppers and everything in this bun. I'll probably go a little bit at a time though. I don't want to scorch myself while I'm trying to do this. Looks good. A little more peppers on top. You want it to be really good and filled though. And I'm going to lay this in the pan. So now I'm going to put 2 slices of cheese on each one of these. I'm just going to lay them on there. And these are going to go in your oven on broil, like I said, for just a couple minutes. Watch them because broil on your oven will burn them up quicker than anything. So really you just want your cheese to get good and melted on here. Okay, I'm kind of tucking my cheese into these sandwiches so it won't, because I couldn't even pick them up because they would have been all stuck together. So I'm just kind of tucking them in to make sure they're in each sandwich. You probably could have, I could have split them in half. I could have broke them in half and just put pieces like that. And that would have probably been just as good. Yeah, just like that. So again, I'm gonna put this in the oven on broil for just a few minutes. Make sure you keep a really close eye on it because you don't want it to burn. And when the cheese is good and melty, then they're ready to come out. Okay, so here they are out of the oven, and they were starting to bubble around the edges, so they look perfect. I'm just gonna grab one with the tongs, put it on a plate, and I'll grab this one with a pair of tongs and put it on the other plate. There we go.
I noticed she did not, sometimes in her cookbooks, she puts a little blurb at the top, maybe because this is volume 2, I don't know, but she did not put a blurb at the top of this one. I'm not seeing a blurb at the top of any of these. So maybe
sometimes it was like, I make these for my family when...
That was in the first cookbook.
Yeah.
So this is the second one, and she didn't do that. But it says no cool time. So there's no, like these are ready. But I can't imagine picking this up. But look, I did.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. It looks terrific.
You gotta like squeeze the bun when you're biting into it so you don't pull the steak off. So you gotta pinch it. Someone's got some heat in there. Probably the poblano.
That cheese makes a huge difference.
Might be the cheese.
That cheese makes a big difference. It tastes so good. And Kevin buys the Sargento cheese, and that's a good brand anyway. We've learned the hard way that it really pays to get good cheese. And I mean, sometimes we still have to get an off-brand just because they might not have it at in the other brand. But cheese can make a huge difference.
The texture, that's really good.
Yes,
the
I
cheese.
like. Yeah, I didn't get a bite of pepper in mine. I was gonna try to see if I could take another bite and get some pepper. I don't know.
There's peppers all through that.
I know. I'm wondering.
I think you got a bite there with pepper, right? Like I said, I had to like pinch mine to keep the meat from pulling out with it. You gotta really pinch it. The peppers are good. I was over there picking at the onions while these were in the broiler. I love caramelized onions because they add a sweetness to it. I wonder do you get a little heat with it? I wonder what's giving you that there's a little tingle in the back of my throat.
No, like you have green poblano pepper. I got bell pepper.
Oh, I see one.
But
Right there.
oh, another bite? I see. Okay.
I'll force you to take another bite. Yeah, there's a lot of green ones in mine. I think it just depends on what bite you take. But I just ate it by itself. I didn't really get a lot of, oh, you can't help but make a mess. I didn't get a lot of heat from it by itself. So I bet you it's the pepper jack cheese is where that heat's coming from. That's what I'm saying. You got to pinch it.
You know, we sit here and eat on camera, and most people would probably be mortified to have that happen. But it is what it is, you know? I still haven't gotten to the poblano yet.
You want to buy mine? It's done.
No, I got it right here.
I still like 3 of them. She hasn't learned the art of the pinch.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of flavor. I've never had a poblano pepper like on my own. I've had it in meals and stuff that I've bought, but I've never actually made I've never cut one, never cooked one, never anything. It's a little bit more of a green flavor.
But I love it.
It's very, very good. It has a ton of flavor compared to the bell peppers.
Yes, so I think the poblano is giving it some of that heat. So if you didn't want that heat, of course, you can use provolone cheese instead of pepper jack. You don't have to you could just use 3 different colors of bell pepper, green and yellow and red bell pepper to make it.
Because bell peppers are more sweet than spicy.
Right, so spicy. You don't have to use that poblano pepper at all. And as far as the fajita meat seasoning, I'm sure it adds something to it. But it's not like spicy from that. I think what's adding the heat is the pepper jack cheese and the poblano pepper.
You could, if you wanted to, you could even replace one of those bell peppers with some like banana peppers if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
You could, I mean, just make it whatever way you want to. That may not be traditional, but it would be really good.
Yeah, this is delicious.
It's very, very good.
I love this. I think this is a recipe to go to again and again because it's so
and it wasn't hard. It just took time to cook the vegetables.
To cut everything up.
And to cut the steak up. By the way, that sirloin tip steak is very, very tender. I'm quite impressed with how tender
and you
it
buy
is.
2 pounds. 2 pounds is what was needed.
Which was
for
two it's a thin slice. It wasn't super thin, but 2 slices, basically 2 steaks.
Right.
In our package was 2 pounds.
Well, this is going to be very, very filling. I'm sure Joanna and her family eat like 1 apiece.
Or half.
Yeah. We'll probably eat 2 apiece, but absolutely delicious food. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.